You feel like you're constantly drowning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the to-do list is endless. You're running on fumes, juggling what feels like, I don't know, 1,000 tiny, urgent tasks.
Yeah, definitely.
And still, at the end of the day, there's this nagging feeling you haven't done enough. Or maybe you spiral worrying about screen time or school safety or just, are you messing them up somehow?
That constant hum of anxiety, it's real.
It is. That relentless, overwhelming pressure, well, that's the lived reality for so many parents navigating the modern world. And, it's not just us saying it.
No, it's become a recognized issue. The U.S. Surgeon General actually highlighted the severe mental health toll it's taking on parents today.
Exactly. It's shifted from just being seen as like individual stress
To a public health concern, yeah.
So for this deep dive, we've pulled together a whole stack of sources, research, articles, expert insights that really lay bare the unique pressures parents face right now.
But we're not just here to list the problems.
No way. Our mission is to cut through all that noise and actually extract the most crucial, actionable strategies. We're talking practical insights rooted in health, psychology, real well-being science.
Things that can actually help you find some breathing room.
Exactly. Find some balance and maybe dial down that persistent anxiety just a bit.
Think of it as moving from just identifying the storms to finding the tools to navigate them more effectively.
Okay, let's unpack this then. First up, the sources give us a really clear picture of this landscape of modern parental stress. And one key finding jumps out immediately.
Which is?
Parents are significantly more likely to report high stress levels than adults without kids. Like in 2023, it was 33% of parents reporting high stress compared to just 20% of non-parents.
Wow, that's a big gap. And for many, this isn't just stressful in a manageable way. It feels utterly overwhelming.
How overwhelming?
Well, one survey found 41% of parents felt so stressed they couldn't function properly, and 48%, nearly half, felt completely overwhelmed on most days.
48% feeling completely overwhelmed most days. That's staggering.
It is. And look, parenting's always been tough, right?
Yeah.
But these sources really emphasize how the pandemic, it didn't necessarily create all this stress, but it massively amplified pressures that were already there.
Right. Suddenly kids were home 24/7, jobs felt precarious. Maybe they weren't.
And there was that constant worry about family health on top of everything else.
Absolutely. And these pressures, they change, don't they, depending on how old the kids are?
For sure. The sources talk about early childhood. You've got the sleep deprivation, which is huge.
Oh, yeah?
Adjusting to these new roles, you're not just a professional or a partner anymore, you're a parent. And that constant tug-of-war between work and family life.
Then as they get a bit older, mid-childhood, it shifts. It's more about managing school stuff, social dynamics, schedules get crazy complicated.
Right. And then adolescence hits, and it brings this whole new layer of anxieties, independence, risk-taking behaviors, peer influence.
And navigating the whole digital world alongside them. That's a big one now.
Huge. But what's really interesting, and the sources really hammer this home, is that across all these stages, certain stressors are just incredibly common. Pervasive.
Okay, like what?
Well, financial strain comes up again and again.
Ah, yes. The cost of everything.
Exactly. Childcare, healthcare, thinking about education down the line. It's immense. Income insecurity weighs heavily.
There was a stat on that, wasn't there?
Yeah, really striking. 66% of parents report being consumed by money worries. Compare that to just 39% of non-parents.
66%. Wow.
And get this. One study found a quarter of U.S. parents reported times in the past year where they didn't have enough money for basics, like food or rent.
A quarter. That just shows the baseline anxiety so many parents are carrying before anything else even happens in the day.
Precisely. And coupled right with that is the time crunch. It's relentless.
So let's point out that parents today were often working more hours outside the home than previous generations.
Right.
And we're spending more time on primary childcare. How does that even work?
It's this weird paradox, isn't it? More work hours, but also this cultural expectation to be more hands-on than ever. Physical care, yes, but also educational activities, reading, playing, enrichment.
So something has to give.
Exactly. And what gives is often time for partners, time for sleep, any kind of personal downtime or leisure, it gets squeezed out.
And a huge chunk of that time pressure isn't even the doing, it's the thinking, right? The sources call it mental labor.
Yes. That invisible load, constantly balancing schedules, anticipating needs. Who needs new shoes? When's the field trip form due? What are we having for dinner tomorrow?
Making decisions about literally everything. monitoring how they're doing.
That endless cycle of planning and anticipating, it just completely drains your cognitive resources.
It really highlights that shift, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That parenting feels less like something you are and more like something you actively do, intensively.
That's a great way to put it. The sources touch on that this move towards intensive parenting. It's framed as needing constant effort, aiming for these optimal child outcomes.
Which often gets interpreted as needing to keep kids happy and achieving all the time.
Which is impossible, and puts immense pressure on parents, especially when you layer on the worries about their actual health and safety.
Yeah, parents are deeply concerned about kids' mental health now. Anxiety, depression, the impact of social media is a huge worry.
Massive. And for parents who are navigating intellectual or developmental disabilities or special health needs with their kids, that stress is obviously compounded significantly.
Of course. And then there are the external safety worries, things that feel, well, tragically prominent today.
The sources mention them repeatedly. Worry about bullying, abduction is still a fear, exposure to drugs, firearms.
And the school shooting statistic, that one was just sobering.
74% of parents reporting school shootings as a significant source of stress.
74%. Just sit with that number. It really puts into perspective the unique anxieties today's parents carry, things our parents maybe didn't worry about in quite the same way.
True. And amidst all this pressure, internal and external, many parents are also dealing with isolation, feeling alone in it.
Yeah, the research backs that up too, right? Parents experiencing loneliness at higher rates than non-parents.
That's right. One survey found 65% versus 55%. There's this palpable sense in the sources, this feeling that the village, that community support system isn't there in the same way it might have been.
And technology, social media. They don't just affect the kids, they add pressure on the parents too.
Absolutely. Nearly 70% of parents feel parenting is harder now than 20 years ago, and they point straight at tech and social media as top reasons.
Worrying about the impact on kids' mental health, what they're exposed to, self-esteem issues.
The pressure it puts on kids to conform or compare themselves, and like you mentioned earlier, the broader cultural pressures are just relentless. Societal expectations, feeling you have to keep up.
Preparing kids for a future that feels really uncertain.
And even backlash against certain parenting styles. Whether it's intensive parenting or gentle parenting, it feels like you can't win. Someone's always judging.
It really is a lot. It paints this picture of immense pressure from, well, every angle.
It does. But here's where this deep dive gets really valuable. The sources aren't just describing the storm.
They're giving us the lifeboat.
Kind of. They're packed with concrete strategies. So let's pivot. Let's move from mapping the stress to talking about actionable ways to find balance and manage time. Tools to simplify things a bit.
Okay, I'm ready. What's first?
A really fundamental insight from the sources is the power of prioritizing and planning. Sounds basic, maybe?
It's essential.
Totally. Consciously setting just your top 3 priorities for the day, it helps cut through that feeling of overwhelm and focus your limited energy where it counts most.
And simple tools, right?
Yeah.
Like a shared family calendar.
Yes. Whether it's a big one on the fridge everyone sees or a digital app you all share. It gets appointments, activities, deadlines out of your head and visible. Reduces so much friction and confusion.
No more, wait, you have practice tonight moments.
Hopefully fewer. Meal planning is another big one highlighted repeatedly.
The dreaded what's for dinner. Panic at 5 p.m.
Exactly. Planning meals weekly, maybe even get the family involved in choosing, means you can make an efficient shopping list. It saves stress, but also, the sources note, it can significantly cut down on food waste and save money.
Good point. And you can use tools like slow cookers or maybe prep some components ahead when you do have a bit of time.
Right, fitting it into your schedule. And speaking of saving time, prepping the night before, that's a classic for a reason.
Total game changer for smoother mornings. Laying out clothes, packing lunches, getting bags and keys ready.
Those few minutes before bed can save you so much frantic energy when you're trying to get everyone out the door on time.
Okay, so planning helps structure things. What about getting more efficient and, crucially, setting boundaries?
Yeah, boundaries are key. Efficiency-wise, techniques like time blocking come up. Dedicating specific chunks of time to specific types of tasks like all your errands, or a block for focused work.
Stops everything bleeding into everything else.
Exactly. And batching similar tasks like make all your calls in one go or answer emails at set times rather than constantly reacting. It prevents that mental switching cost, which is incredibly draining.
And the 2-minute rule. I like that one.
Yeah. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, just do it immediately.
Stops those little things piling up into a mountain that feels impossible to climb.
Precisely. But boundaries. This is maybe the most essential and often the hardest part.
Definitely.
The sources strongly emphasize limiting digital distractions. Turn off notifications that aren't essential. Set specific times for checking social media or email. Don't just let it interrupt you constantly.
Learning to say no, that feels like a superpower.
It really is. Politely declining commitments that overextend you. It's fundamental to protecting your time and energy. You just can't do everything.
It feels so hard, though, like you're letting people down.
I know, but the sources are clear. Protecting your boundaries is vital. And related to that, work boundaries. Don't take your work phone to bed.
Guilty.
Set a firm cutoff time for work communication in the evening. Those blurred work-life lines. They're shown to be incredibly detrimental to well-being and actually long-term productivity, too.
Use those out-of-office replies on holiday and actually mean it.
Yes, stick to them. Another huge insight the sources offer is the necessity of delegation. Don't try to be the hero who does it all.
Delegate chores to the kids. Age-appropriate ones, obviously.
Absolutely. Not just tasks, but actual responsibility. Picking up toys, setting the table, helping with dishes or laundry as they get older.
And asking for help from your partner or other trusted people.
Yes. Don't assume they know what you need or see the invisible load. Ask directly. Could you handle meal prep tonight? Can you take out the trash?
It's harder for single parents, of course.
Definitely acknowledged. But asking friends or family where possible. One parent shared an anecdote in the sources about having twins.
Oh, wow.
And it basically forced her to get comfortable delegating household stuff, the invisible labor, because she physically couldn't do it all. That realization that you cannot do it all can be incredibly freeing, not failing.
That's such a powerful example. Sometimes you need that extreme situation to realize letting go is essential. Childcare swaps with friends during school breaks were also mentioned.
Great strategy. A practical way to get a break or tackle things you can't do with kids underfoot.
And flexible working. Is that realistic for many?
It's worth exploring. The sources mention options like working from home, compressed hours, flexitime. You're often entitled to request these arrangements, even if employers don't have to grant them. Some companies even let you buy extra annual leave, though it's usually capped.
Okay. And finally, leveraging tools like tech.
Yeah, simple things. Use phone reminders for deadlines. Automate routine tasks where you can subscriptions. Maybe online grocery ordering. Shared shopping list apps so anyone can add things. Small tech tricks can free up significant mental bandwidth.
Okay, so that's managing the schedule. But what about managing the stress itself? The mental, emotional, physical side?
Right. This moves into the core coping mechanisms the sources highlight to reduce that internal anxiety.
Mindfulness and presence come up a lot here.
They do. Mindfulness, put simply, is about noticing your emotions without judging them, learning to calm your nervous system down when things get heated.
So techniques like deep breathing.
Yep. Deep breathing exercises, guided meditations, there are tons of apps for that now. Or even just consciously stepping back from a difficult situation for a moment to gain some perspective before reacting.
It's about practicing slowing things down.
Exactly. Focusing on the present moment, even just for a few breaths, instead of letting your mind race ahead to the next worry or replay the last mess up. It's learning to observe your own reactions in stressful moments.
Like noticing, okay, I'm feeling really angry right now.
Precisely. There's an example from Dr. Goldstein in one source. Simply naming the feeling, even saying aloud, "this is chaos," can actually help calm the amygdala, the brain's fear center.
That makes so much sense. It gives your rational brain a chance to catch up with the emotional reaction.
Right. And this is so crucial because, as you said, parental stress is incredibly contagious. When you manage your own stress, find ways to stay calm, you create a calmer environment for your kids.
Which helps them feel safe and regulated.
Yeah.
And you're modeling how to handle tough emotions.
Exactly. And mindful parenting doesn't have to be some complicated hour-long practice. It can be small shifts. Like putting your phone down and giving your child your full open attention for just 5 minutes. Really listening. One source shared a story about a mom, Cynthia Braun, who changed her whole rushed morning routine just by deciding to move slower, be more present.
And another one, Sandy Isaac, learned to just step back and observe when her kids weren't cooperating instead of immediately jumping in with frustration.
Those examples show how tiny adjustments in approach can have a big impact. Another critical strategy: managing expectations and practicing self-compassion.
Ah, the expectations trap.
It's huge. The sources are really clear. Set realistic expectations for yourself And for your kids, perfection is a myth. It's unattainable. Mistakes are going to happen.
Just letting that sink in. Perfection is unattainable. Good parenting isn't about being flawless.
No, it's about being present, being loving, being committed to learning and growing and just showing up, even when it's messy.
So actively letting go of perfectionism, like it's okay if the socks don't match.
Exactly. Things don't have to be a certain perfect way. Letting go of that is actually powerful modeling for your kids, too. Make peace with the fact that you will stumble. You'll do things you wish you hadn't.
Instead of beating yourself up.
Cultivate self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend in the same situation.
That's hard, but important. And physical health is foundational too, isn't it?
Absolutely critical. The sources use that phrase, you can't fill from an empty cup. You just can't.
So scheduling regular self-care time, treating it like a non-negotiable appointment.
Yes. Even if it's just 20 minutes for a walk, a bath, reading, meditating, whatever recharges you, and prioritize sleep. Aim for that 7 to 9 hours if possible.
Even if the kid's sleep is disrupted.
Find ways. Go to bed earlier yourself. Coordinate with a partner for shifts if you can. Rest is not a luxury, it's essential. Plus, a reasonably balanced diet, staying hydrated, moving your body.
It makes you more present and patient.
Definitely. The sources show a direct link between physical well-being and your mental capacity to cope. And finally, learn to recognize when you're getting overwhelmed.
Know your own warning signs.
Exactly. Increasing irritability, constant worrying, feeling anxiety ratchet up. When you feel that surge, have some quick strategies ready. Ensure the child is safe first. Pop them in their crib or playpen for a moment if needed. Take a brief time out for yourself, even just closing your eyes and taking deep breaths for a minute. Put on calming music. Or reach out, text a friend, call your partner.
That leads perfectly into the final key area the sources highlight. The power of support. Knowing when and how to seek help.
Yes. Connecting with other parents is highlighted as incredibly valuable, almost essential, really.
Why is that connection so important?
It provides support, obviously, but also validation. Knowing you're not alone in these struggles is huge. It's a place to share experiences, get advice without judgment.
And rebuild some of that village feeling.
Exactly. It helps combat that isolation and loneliness that, as we discussed, parents struggle with more than non-parents.
So joining local playgroups, finding online forums, community support groups.
All great ways to find that connection. Finding people who truly get what you're navigating in a safe space. And just acknowledging and expressing your feelings, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Journaling, confiding in friends.
Healthy outlets, yes. And the sources are also really clear. Sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes professional help is needed.
And that's okay. It's a sign of strength, not failure.
Absolutely. They specifically introduce cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, as a really valuable tool for parents struggling with stress and anxiety.
Can you give us just a quick sense of what CBT involves?
Sure. Briefly, CBT is a type of talk therapy. It's based on the idea that your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors are all interconnected.
Okay.
So it helps you identify and challenge those negative or unhelpful thought patterns, like maybe constant catastrophizing or harsh self-criticism. That's the cognitive restructuring part.
And then the behavioral part.
That involves developing healthier ways of coping and behaving in response to stress. It might involve scheduling positive activities, learning practical problem-solving skills, or practicing relaxation techniques.
So the sources show CBT can genuinely help. Reduce stress, improve coping, maybe even help with communication.
Yes, definitely. The benefits highlighted include significant stress reduction, better coping skills, improved relationships, including parent-child communication, enhanced problem solving, and reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression.
That sounds really promising for people feeling stuck.
It can be very effective. And beyond formal therapy, the sources also mention other resources. Confidential helplines specifically for parents exist.
Like the parent stress line.
Exactly. And virtual or community support groups. These offer immediate, accessible support, shared wisdom, and just that vital reminder that you don't have to carry this enormous weight all by yourself.
Okay, so to kind of wrap things up here, this deep dive into the sources, it really confirms what so many of you listening are probably experiencing firsthand. Modern parenting comes with this unique and pretty intense set of pressures. From that relentless crunch of time and money
to the weight of cultural expectations and those very real anxieties we have for our children's well-being in such a complex world.
It's undeniably challenging. No sugarcoating that.
But the clear message from all this research, from the experts, is that while the pressure is real, there are concrete, evidence-backed strategies you can use.
Across managing your time, prioritizing your own well-being, actively seeking support.
Things that can genuinely make a difference in reducing that anxiety and finding a bit more balance.
So the key takeaway here, it isn't about magically becoming some kind of perfect, stress-free parent, right? That's not the goal.
Definitely not. It's about recognizing you literally cannot do it all, finding realistic ways to manage the inherent chaos.
Fiercely prioritizing your own well-being, because remember, that directly benefits your kids too.
Yes. Leaning on others for help and connection. And crucially, practicing self-compassion when you inevitably fall short of those impossible standards we set for ourselves.
Small adjustments, maybe. A willingness to let go of perfectionism.
And focusing on connection with yourself, with your family, and with potential sources of support. That can create surprising space for what really matters most.
So as you reflect on all this, maybe consider this final thought with us. The modern ideal really pushes us towards this model of the intensive parent who's supposed to manage everything perfectly.
Right, which contrasts so sharply with that historical reliance on a shared village.
So in your own life, where could you maybe actively build or find elements of that missing village? Or perhaps think about what good enough parenting truly means to you right now in today's world.
And could letting go of the need to be perfect actually be the most freeing step you could take? Not just for yourself, but maybe as a powerful model for your children too.